Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to today's math lesson. But before we begin, I'd like you to please make sure you have all your materials, okay? You need to have your math textbook, your whiteboard, and a marker. If you don't have your whiteboard, then have a piece of paper, okay? And also a pencil and your counters, all right? You can have both your counters today, your two color ones as well as your connecting cubes. All right, so those are the materials we're going to be using today. And actually your math mat, you can also have that as well as your 10 frame. All right, so if you don't have those things handy, pause the video, come back after you have all of your materials. Okay, well, here we go. We are going to today subtract from 10. And as you know, our essential question for chapter 2 that we are going to be working on each lesson is how to subtract numbers. We've already been working on ways to subtract up to the number 9 using different strategies. Today, we will be working on how to subtract from 10, and we are going to turn, by the end of this chapter, this essential question of how do you subtract numbers into an I can statement. I can subtract numbers. So let's work on our math warm-up first, get our math brains all ready. So I'm going to read the problem of the day to you. And as you know, I like you to listen first so we can get all our information and figure out exactly what it is they would like us to do. Okay? So you're going to use some counters, but first let's listen to the story. Mark planted 5 rows of corn. He planted 2 fewer rows of beans than corn. So that's our information that we know. How many rows of corn and beans did he plant in all? That's what we need to find out. Okay, so this is where it's handy to have our counters. Okay, we know that he planted 5 rows of corn. 1, each of these is going to count as 1 row. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's my 5 rows of corn. We know that he planted 2 fewer rows of beans than corn, but we don't know yet how many rows that is. We have to figure it out. So as we have talked about, I want you, all right, I want you to tell the adult, or just say it out loud right now to the screen. What does fewer mean? If you said less, that's right. So we are going to see he planted 2 less rows of beans than corn. Well, here's our 5 rows. So we know that when we have these kind of counters, I'm going to X them out. You have counters in front of you, so you can just take them away. All right? 1, 2 fewer rows. So let's see how many rows of beans did he plant. 1, 2, 3. Okay. But that's not what they want to know. They want to know how many all together. So this is what I suggest. All right. So that we can work on this carefully for ourselves. Here's our 5 rows, right? Well, we know that he planted 2 fewer. So that means he planted, because we just figured that out, he planted 3 rows of beans, okay? Because he planted 2 fewer than the corn. Now, what I'm going to do with this, just so that I'm going to try to just erase this line, because I don't need it any longer. Because now I want to answer the question, how many rows of beans and corn did he plant in all? So remember, what does in all mean? That's right, we're adding. Good job. So what 2 numbers are we going to add? That's right, the corn and the beans. So let's count how many all together he planted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He planted all together, okay, 8. Oh, I don't know why that's not working today. Okay, he planted in all 8 rows. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it, but we know he planted 8 rows. So we are going to check right now our next answer slide right here. And sure enough, he planted 8 rows. All right. So now let's go to our investigation. Okay. Think what this is called. We've used this before, and you have the paper in front of you. Tell your adult or just tell the screen, what is that called? That's right, a 10 frame. And a 10 frame is a great way for us to model how to subtract from 10. Why? That's right, because this is called a 10 frame. So right here, we know it's 10. So if I chose to use some counters, today let's use this one, okay? All right. And I'm going to fill this up. Remember, I said I think it's always a good idea to start from the left and go to the right, just like we read. 5, okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? Now, if I needed to subtract, what is the best way to show me subtracting? I can pull them out, okay? So if I did this, how many from 10 am I subtracting? What do I count? That's right, the empty squares. So for this math sentence, okay, could be, if I were to write it, 10 minus, and there's 3 empty, 3, and what's the difference? Where do I figure that out? That's right, I count the counters that are left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good job. Okay? And that's how I can use this to show someone, model a way to subtract from 10. Okay, very good job. All right, so now is a good time for you to get your math book, okay, and turn to your lesson 11. All right. Now here is your story. So let's listen to it first, all right, for our exploring. There are 10 tigers playing in a field, all right? So let's use some counters. Now here they're having us use connecting cubes. So they're saying that there are 10 tigers playing in a field. So I'm going to put 10 counters. And as you know, when we've done this, after you're done putting 10 counters, pause and then trace each of your counters, okay? So keep counting. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now would be a good time for you to pause and trace your counters and then come back and we'll solve this with the rest of the story. Okay, all done tracing? Good job. You're getting to be a real pro at that. Okay, so we have 10 counters here that you have traced. Well, now 4 of them go away. So, as we've done in the past, you may put an X on 4 of the boxes that you've traced. Okay? All right. Now, we need to know what the difference is or how many tigers are left playing in the field. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, now they would like us to write that in a subtraction number sentence. So how many tigers did we start with in the field? That's right, we started with 10. Very good. Now, minus 4. 4 of them went away. And how many tigers are left playing in the field? 6. Okay, good job. All right. Now they're going to show us the answer right there. Okay, let's look at our see and show. So again, they're using connecting cubes as they've done in the past 2 lessons as well. And there are many ways to subtract from 10. So here they're showing us the first one, and they're showing how to subtract 5 from 10. Okay, now if you would like to, after I do this, take your connecting cubes and do it yourself, that's also good, okay? Because sometimes it's nice to be able to show yourself doing it, okay, to an adult. So right here, they have 10 connecting cubes. And as you can see in the picture, they have X'd out 5 from the 10. And then the difference is 5, which is the answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down at the bottom, now they have subtracted 7 from 10, taken away 7 from 10, okay? They've just chosen to do different color connecting cubes and to put the green ones as the ones they're subtracting. And then, so 10 minus 7 equals 3. And as we know, the answer in a subtraction number sentence is known as the difference. The difference is 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, for this, you should start with 10 cubes. And you've done this before with all of the numbers in front since, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So now they would like you to fill in these subtraction number sentences beginning with 10, and you get to choose what you're taking away from 10. Okay, so use your cubes, all right, and take your time. Okay, you can choose whatever numbers you like, but remember, do not subtract the same number twice, okay? There should be 8 different subtraction number sentences. And when you're done, all right, you can pause this to complete it, but then when you're done, you can come back and I will show you some examples, and perhaps yours are here. Because remember, how many ways can we subtract from 10? Right, there's 11 different ways. So here we go. Pause and come back and check. Okay, so boys and girls, as we said, there are so many different ways to subtract from 10, but they asked you to show 8. So as you can see, there are 8 different ways here. If you'd like to check to see if they have any of your answers here, pause the video and then come back and continue. Okay, so now a little math talk. When would you use subtraction in a real world situation? Real life, that's what they're talking about. When would we use subtraction? Let's think about that. While I'm thinking, I'd like you to think and tell your adult one way you could use subtraction in real life. And you probably have already done it and just never realized that it was subtraction. Okay, pause and tell someone. All right. I can't wait to hear when we have our math discussion following this lesson, a way that you told someone how we use subtraction. So whatever you said, remember it, because I would like us to begin our discussion, all right, in our small groups about a way that you can use subtraction in real life. All right, so make sure you remember it. All right, because we're going to all discuss that when we get together in groups. Okay, so on your own, they say you can use the work mat and your cubes. Now, they would like you to subtract. Now, just a little reminder, don't let them trick you. Look at that first number because I spy with my eye one of these subtraction number sentences does not begin with 10. Okay, so pause and complete this, come back and check. Okay, they didn't trick you, did they? No, you knew it. There's number 11 right there. Begins with 9, not 10. They're making sure you're paying attention and that you counted and adjusted your cubes when you were figuring out your answers or the differences on all of these subtraction number sentences. All right, let's continue. And again, this time, they are a variety of subtraction number sentences that we have done in the past. So be careful and check your answers. Pause now. Okay, here are the answers for your subtraction number sentences. Now, if you're not done, all right, certainly pause, finish it on your own, and then come back and check. Okay, there's no rush in doing this. Okay. More on your own. Here's some more. Okay, now we have some problem solving. I will read it to you. You can pause it and solve it, okay, and then come back and check for the answer. Here is the math problem. Marissa sees 10 flamingos in a lake. I love flamingos, they're so cute. 2 of them get out of the lake. How many flamingos are still in the lake? Pause now and solve it. 8 flamingos. Good job. And just a little side note, did you know that flamingos are not naturally pink? Who knew that? They have to eat something so that they turn pink. Do you know what that is? Okay, it's carrots. Okay. All right, here we go. Number 28, there are 10 Jeeps on a safari. 5 of the Jeeps leave. How many Jeeps are still on the safari? Pause and solve. 5 Jeeps. Good job, boys and girls. Okay. Ready for our hot problem? Okay. There are 10 parrots on a branch. 7 of them fly away. The answer is 3 parrots. What's the question? Well, let's think about this. There are 10 parrots on a branch. 7 of them fly away. What question would someone ask you that would make you say to them, 3 parrots are on the branch? What kind of a question would they ask you? All right. That's right. Here's the question. Let's see. I like to make it larger so we can all see it nice and clearly. The question is, how many parrots are left on the branch? That's right. That's what would be asked. Okay. Let's put that in there and check and see if that makes sense. There are 10 parrots on a branch. 7 of them fly away. How many parrots are left on the branch? And the answer is 3 parrots. That does make sense. So that's always a good way to check what you've put as an answer if you've put that in the proper spot, okay, and then add it to the math story. All right, so boys and girls, another great job. by you doing our math today. If you need to finish or correct anything, certainly you can go back in the video, all right, and do that. And don't forget, think of the real life way that we have used subtraction, or we could use subtraction, okay? You've done it all the time and never even realized it, okay? So I can't wait to hear your answers. Goodbye.